Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senior Vice President and Chief Information Officer, Liberty Mutual, John Heveran.
Good morning. How many people have showed up for a party underdressed before? Never me. So let me just relax here, all right? So I'm from Liberty Mutual. We're a large insurance company. We have a proud heritage of providing coverage for our customers, both family and also companies. We're big, we're global. I lead the commercial insurance side of that technology organization, which is about 1,500 employees. We have lots of applications, lots of legacy mainframe applications, folks located all over, and a lot of monolithic applications like I'm sure a number of you also have. So about a year ago, we set out to really change the dynamic. We had been learning from some of our early experiments. We set out a very ambitious plan that we talked about in our technology manifesto, and the idea was to really change how we're developing software. To make that real for people, we identified these bold, audacious moves, or BAMs. So we are on a journey to move 60% of our workloads to the cloud. We're trying to get an organization where 75% of the staff are actually writing code. And half of our apps, at least half of our apps, actively going from code to production in a single day. And we've had some real success. But really, what I want to talk to you about this morning is the transformation with our teams, with our people. So we do not have teams of sheep, but we do have some challenges. And so we needed to really kind of rethink everything we're doing in our approach and move from kind of a better safe than sorry approach to a much more smarter risk-taking. So in reevaluating this approach, we really encourage the teams to take ownership for this journey. So we were already thinking and talking about MVP, about design thinking, but we began to really get much more serious about rethinking the technology choices and how we made decisions. And this led to our commitment to the cloud and to web services. So for us, it really was about being holistic in this, not looking at any single one and trying to do all of these things somewhat simultaneously. So if I leave you with one thing this morning, I want to make sure that for companies out there that are like us, that you take on that ambitious goal of really being holistic, thinking about everything, about, to some extent, taking on the challenge of changing all of the dimensions, not just design thinking or MVP or Agile, but DevOps, web services, cloud native. And if you only take on a couple of these, I really don't believe that you can be successful. So be ambitious, and whatever you do, don't constrain yourself with the decisions of the past. So for us, it was about exploding this idea of a monolith. We have a number of applications that were developed over decades, and we needed a partner. And fortunately for us, we did have a relationship with Pivotal. And this involved much more than just a multi-million-dollar, multi-month kind of plan for how to do this. We really focused on this idea of coding over planning. So this partner, Pivotal, what we really needed from them and what they were able to bring was the ability to not just drive the car for us, to teach us how to do it ourselves, and really empower us to go ahead and embrace this journey. And I would say that one of the most impactful things that the teams have shared over the months has been this idea of the ability to kind of teach and learn, the power that you get from pair programming, and we found that in Pivotal. And honestly, this started with a dojo that we had on site. I'm sure a number of you by now have been to the Pivotal Labs, and that's a great environment, and we've had experiences in other parts of the company. But for us, we really were looking to to kind of bring this inside and change the way we work and the way we are addressing this ourselves. So we took a large chunk of J2E applications, and the goal was, how in 10 weeks can we break that down into a series of microservices within PCF? And honestly, the teams were pretty skeptical at first that this was possible. But our account rep, Larissa Nigro, was very, very instrumental in helping us kind of have that faith. And so we took it on, and we took 37 applications, and in a single day, we identified the 12 that we were going to tackle. And 2 of those, we even developed in that same day what the MVP was going to be. And then the next day, the team started with the pivots and started coding. And you have to understand, for a company like ours, this was radical. This was no PowerPoints, no Visio, no roadmaps, just stickies and people writing code. So, there's a learning curve. But in 10 weeks, we did convert 10 applications to a place where they were ready to go to production. But we challenged ourselves at the end of that and said, OK, so we took these applications, we made this success, but what if we took the biggest application that we have in my particular space, this idea of the ultimate monolith. It's a business-critical application. It supports $4 billion of our $10 billion in revenue for commercial insurance. And it really was something that even the teams thought might be a bridge too far. And there were some failures. We did make mistakes, but we were able to correct them quickly, and we shared those learnings broadly within the organization so others could learn from it. And that's the beauty of software. If you screw it up, you can fix it. It's not like the Millennium Tower here, right? Where you might have a building that's going to, collapse into the earth here in San Francisco. Hope no one has an apartment there. You look like you might. So where are we now? We have 10% of our workloads on PCF. We've moved over 50 WAS apps to PCF. We've had 50 developers go through the Pivotal Dojo process, and they've empowered another 250 by leading their own dojos within the organization. We have a whole host of internally led teams that are sharing this learnings. And we've built a number of services, and we're deploying at least weekly, where we were deploying monthly or quarterly before. Many apps are now in a position to deploy daily. So be bold in your vision. Take on everything. I encourage you to talk to Pivotal about how they can help in this experience. If you want to learn more about this, Miranda, later this morning, is going to be talking about our CI/CD DevOps journey. And then Rohit will be talking much more in depth about the case study that I've laid out here. So before I give you my final thoughts, I just want to let you know that we don't treat developers like sheep at Liberty. We do allow you to wear jeans, unlike what I showed up in. So we went from a world where there was chaos. We were always making concessions. We were focused on delivery dates. We had a lot of monolithic constraints we weren't willing to challenge. And frankly, we had some real bad architectures. But as one of our managers put it, our developers have hope again. We've encouraged a culture of experimentation. Think about what you can do in a day. Think about what you can do in an hour. And just get started. Start coding. Thank you.